I don't know what this text is saying, but there's no way all of it can be just this text shown here. Some of the text goes by too fast. This town actually still believes in hanging people. Just like Peach to be oblivious enough to trust a creepy old lady, I'm starting to get the feeling that maybe Toadsworth is right to be paranoid. Also, what was Beldam's plan if Peach didn't admire the box? What if she admired the vase or these crystals instead? Considering Peach's puny brain causing her to constantly get herself kidnapped, why is she going alone to a place called Rogueport? Unless Mario sleeps standing up, this is an impossible eye shot angle for Mario to wake up to. Or however that's supposed to be worded. And right away we have our first sign that this game has amazing soundtrack. It's about the right time to take off Sins for every awesome song. Goombella really thinks Lord Crump will be worried about her screaming. Crumpabot! As if Junior Troopa's first fight wasn't pathetic enough, it's possible to beat Lord Crump in 2 turns. But his jump attack is near impossible to counter because of how awkward the timing looks. Game won't explain how Mario was able to get out of there. Bestiality. It's actually pretty neat seeing them go the extra mile of having speech bubbles, and even stuff like this in the background. These Piantas attack Gus, but then they just let him go on his merry way. Okay, Toadsworth, did you really think Peach wouldn't get kidnapped while your back was turned? Her brain is made of mush. How could you possibly think she wouldn't be kidnapped? For some reason, I really don't like this tutorial theme. I don't get this joke. A wrinkled old lady getting mad at us for ruining her contact lens? What's the joke? Also, she should consider herself lucky, since if I dropped something and someone stepped on it, I wouldn't be allowed to charge that person for it. This part of the song raises your hopes into thinking this song will be much more epic than it actually is. Also, how can he get special treatment and not having to have a Goomba name? This goes on for some time. I think Frankly has been watching the episode Squilliam Returns a little too much. Goom Perfects. We were just told that only the hero of legend could hear him, but then Frankly could hear him too. So basically, these guys are discounted little devils from Link to the Past. Wow, some map that says if it doesn't even show all the major locations until you reach a certain area, Frankly allows you to beat him up because he doesn't mind you assaulting the elderly. Sometimes pieces of the stage can fall at random and mess you up. That's annoying. Just like in Paper Mario 1, Super Paper Mario's stupidly lazy sleeping animation made me appreciate it here. Mario is a jerk to trees. Hooktail flies like it has to take a dump. Says the one who also saw the castle, which is bigger than Hooktail. Who the heck would eat a horsetail? This bridge animation is awesome! Petalburg's name was directly stolen from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Now Goombella is a discount Kazooie. That's house colorist. Bulber, how do you know that it didn't actually see us and that we didn't get away in time? You'd really think we'd think you're talking about us when you say Mademoiselle? Do you think we're mentally insane? Don't take it personal. Nearly every Koopa here looks the same. If we were thieves, there seems like some stuff to steal, like those picture frames on this couch. All old people are senile cliche. Sorry Goombella, but even if you admit it's kinda mean, I still have to sin it. That's baldness. Cheap trick game. I'm pretty sure that in order for the people to get this wrong, they have to either have short-term memory loss or have taken a break from this game in a while. Or have struggled sometime between the entrance to Petal Meadows and here. Maybe the Thwomp should have just blocked our way instead of giving us a chance to be quizzed in order to get through. Fuzzy enemies are still annoying. Geez, nearly half this game's party members are mostly clones of party members from the first game. Yeah, Koops, I'm glad you're helping us fight Hooktail, but you can't swear that you're going to come back alive after fighting a dragon. Using pipes to enter the background is a lot of fun. Don't mind me, I'm just looking for excuses to remove Sins to make up for something really terrible this game is going to do later. Discount Tower of the Gods from Wind Waker. It sure was nice of Hooktail to let Colorado's father live long enough to write this letter discussing Hooktail's weakness. Knocking out big crowds of enemies is also a lot of fun in this game. Geez, I wonder if these spikes are going to come up when I open this chest. Though I gotta take a Sentinel for this intense moment. For this cool bridge animation, I'm taking off even more Sins, because I still need excuses to make up for what's gonna happen later. How Hooktail hasn't eaten Miss Mouse is beyond me. Miss Mouse just jumped out the window and committed suicide. Pretty cool 3D papercraft work on Hooktail though. How do you think we're a good snack if we don't appear tasty? Before I fought Hooktail, it was the middle of the day, now it's nighttime. When your attacks make the cricket sound effect, it actually gets annoying. How you got food poisoning from a cricket is beyond me. I mean, crickets are like atoms compared to you. Because, you know, for kids. Koopli was inside Hooktail for 10 years? How is Koopli not dead? Umbrella Cape. GLaDOS went back 3 years and cloned herself. Text saying he's a perfect computer gets really annoying. Are you sure he's lovable? Bowser's hilarious in this game, but contributes nothing to the plot. Remember your blood pressure cliche? Creature things you want to eat them cliche. There aren't as many cool entrances to the chapters as there were in the first Paper Mario, because now half of them are accessed through the sewers. Well, at least it's more interesting than in Super Paper Mario, where they're all lined up right next to each other. Yeah, Beldum, since when does a villain like you care about picking up someone's scraps? I know Beldum's a character we're supposed to hate, but there's a lot of intolerable brattiness you have to sit through whenever she comes up. Discount Great Deku Tree. How does a negative image of the real world soothe you? What footsteps? Punio has no visible feet. If Flurry can't go outside without her necklace, how does she lose it all the way outside? These three are still arguing about this, and Beldum is still unlikable even by villain standards. She doesn't even have logic to her stupidity. Marilyn can talk now? Beldum's dialogue really doesn't sit well with me. Because she's a mix of a comedic villain and a serious villain, it's impossible to tell whenever she's trying to be funny or not. Even when it's meant to be funny, her jokes aren't even funny. She's not even an entertaining villain. She doesn't do much aside from occasionally mess with us. For some reason, I don't like this mini-boss scene. Flurry says not to look at her until her necklace is on, but then we look in her direction when she opens the door. What were they thinking when they gave her this kind of design? She's creepier than the Great Fairy. These guys are jerks for blowing someone's secret. The auto could fit through those bars. The joke with characters talking for hours and Mario falling asleep during this is actually a pretty funny running joke. This must have taken a page out of the game Pikmin. I think the auto has been listening to the SpongeBob Sun Underwater Sun for too long. The Jabby's battles kind of feel like discount ship battles from Skies of Arcadia. Or is it just me? How are the Punies blowing up these bases? I don't want to know. Why do the Punies feel the need to design this walkway in a way where it's easy to fall off? This Puny was trying to give this mushroom to his brother before it dried out, and then just held on to it. Limbless Hug. You just said we're stupid for falling for this trap. Then you said it was a brilliant trap, implying that anyone could have fallen for it. This looks awesome too! And yes, I'm still looking for excuses to make up for that terrible thing later. I know it's not what CinemaSins would do, but it's what I do. Did it just say you got a super boots? Why is a puny elder enough to block Lord Crumb's way? That was dumb of him to turn the bomb off for no reason. Magnus von Punish. Lord Crumb survives this. Now Tech's getting creepy. This kid left his precious poster outside. It could get stolen or rained on. Couple of similar names cliche. I know technically Don Pianta's granting their wish, but this terrible father's still telling his daughter to get out of his sight forever. I guess this is a fitting minor league room, but don't they care about their fighters' satisfaction? How come we're the only ones who have to follow certain conditions in this discount Olympus Coliseum? Why don't the Goombas get disqualified for cheating? Bandy Andy must be a second rival to Nathaniel Bandy. This game lies to us. It says the champion's bed refills star power, but it doesn't. That alone is worthy of 10 cents. Does Mr. Hoggle support cannibalism? He's a pig that sells hot dogs. Egg that hasn't hatched yet is somehow jumping everywhere cliche. What's the point of showing this? We know what to do. We've done it nearly 10 times. These super heavy armored harriers can jump. Yoshi can eat these guys in their horns that penetrate anything without having holes poked in his body. Okay, first off, how does Yoshi know the Crystal Star is a fake? Second off, why are we even bothering to still fight our way through a tournament even though we now know it's not real? Why is this X person talking all weird? It's like they're asking to not be trusted. Especially with a name like X, when our enemies are called the X-Nauts. Speaking of which, how did our ringtone change? If I get calls from different people, I don't get a different ringtone than the one I have. How did any major league contenders, let alone these guys, get past the iron clefts? I bet even Rockhawk wouldn't be able to penetrate them. Yeah, like the moving bag, the stairs that count differently up and down, the girl into the deserted mansion window. Oh wait, wrong game. Is it legal to bust in on someone to challenge them when they're weakened? Death threats. That's definitely hilarious, but I must say it because every single Let's Player thinks they need to answer it like that, making the joke somewhat stale. No one asked why we're removing our own posters. This mystery gets intense. But did X know these victims were here and not tell anyone? Why are the employees allowing Rockhawk to convince them to do something this bad? That's actually gross. Hero was late for an important match cliche. Good job announcing that in front of a huge audience. Cheating. Sorry Grubba, but if you think we're your only witnesses, just ask the entire audience of people watching. It's a pretty awesome plot twist to learn X was actually Jolene. However, when she made us think she was mad at us for getting what she wanted us to get, I guess it's probably because she wanted us to take the dubious papers so she could inspect them, but it's still a jerk move to make us think she was mad at us. And why did she tell us to stay away from the storage room earlier if she wanted us to enter it? Either a bad way to hide a plot twist, or a case of awful writing. I agree. This imperfect world moral's so forced it's cringy. Why do we have to start all over again if we want to reclaim our champion title? We didn't cheat. All sacrifices have to address this cliche. Bye Bye Birdie? This place is called Twilight Town? What are the odds that both this and Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories both released in the exact same year, let alone a few months apart from each other? The Twilight townspeople look like burglars, with their shaded eyes and their hoods look like bags of loot. I'm sorry, this just feels overdone, when she calls him a pig and then later he actually becomes a pig. This person is disgusting. He wants to eat his own kind. The bells only go off and affect the citizens in the order that's mostly convenient to the plot. How lucky is it that it didn't happen to us? The cursiest curse ever isn't the last one. I really like the atmosphere of this place, and I'm gonna take more sins off for it. Too bad it doesn't make up for the second half of the chapter. I hope Lady Bo doesn't mind us beating up her friends. You transformed everyone to liven up this place, and pigs were the best you could come up with? I mean, yeah, pigs can be lively, but you couldn't have chosen something more hyper like monkeys or dogs? Can someone please explain Duplic's powers? It was clearly him making those lost quotes, and we clearly saw our body acting normal in the victory screen, and then all of a sudden our bodies are switched. At least have Mario get a bit weirder and weirder during the fight. Seriously, again with making it hard to take Bellum seriously when she said the bomb was too important to trust Vivian with, and now saying Vivian had it, which, once again, is unpleasant to sit through. And plus another sin for reminding me of when the Mountie acted like a complete brat at this part in his commentary on the original version of my Killjoys list over a simple misinterpretation. How are the citizens returned to normal if we didn't actually win? Is it weird that I feel worse for Vivian than I do for Mario? That proves how terrible this chapter's storytelling is. Also, Mario isn't quite as nice as Vivian says. I want to believe he's innocent, but everyone keeps reminding me of all the Goombas he's killed. Here's where this chapter gets irritating. You have to keep going through Twilight Trail a total of 5 times. I guessed Duplic's name the first time, and he still said no. I understand we didn't use a lowercase p, but they could have had him steal the capital and lowercase p. How do they not notice Mario's acting strange? And the fact that he keeps saying he's Mario. How is that not suspicious? Don't apologize to your sister. She doesn't deserve your apology. She deserves to be brutally tortured in the worst way possible. Even this fight is wasted. The only way we can fight your other party members is if you go the extra mile and take out Goombella first. When you just at Glitzville last chapter, Kemi's enjoyed Glitzville in the 3 minutes Bowser's been gone. Make up your mind. Does Grodus need the crystal stars or not? Sorry, I am mad. You made us backtrack through that castle and back. You're still insulting us? After we got you new contacts and brought you this cookbook? Ungrateful old hag. I'm getting bad memories. Flavio's name is one letter from a stupid ungrateful brat in Fire Emblem Awakening's best ending. Old guy had a bad experience and never wants to do what he loves most again, cliche. You dunce! You held onto the letter, leaving Bobbery depressed and rejecting Scarlet's dying wish? Pasa boom! Just what kind of stupid saying is that? Goombella protected itself from Sticker Star, which was one of my guilty pleasures, but probably shouldn't have existed. And like I did in the first Paper Mario, I'm going to give 10 cents for the horribly unfunny abuse towards this innocent Waka that can actually kill it. That's eye patchist. You have to flutter very carefully over this block, which is made worse if Yoshi falls off and is stuck below. This fourth wall joke is even funnier the second time around. However, even if Crumb's disguise being obvious was the joke of it, there's still something about it that rubs me the wrong way. How was I supposed to know to slip through this crack? How did Bobbery climb that big tree without arms? Of course Flavio will turn down someone's probably dying wish unless we bring him something else. I don't think coconuts are that cliched. I mean, they're common on tropical islands. But then again, I'm the same guy who would simply remember your blood pressure cliche earlier in this video. This part of Flavio's song is so idiotic. I know it's the instructions for this part, but it sounds so dumb. Good thing this ledge is just high enough for us to throw Bobbery onto. Any higher and we'd be stuck here. Okay, how did the Skull Gem get blown back here? Not just the party members, but even some of the levels feel like copies of levels from the predecessors. I mean, think about it. We got our castle near a grassland on a Koopa village, we have a haunted mansion full of booze, and now we have a tropical island with a cave in it. These annoying Bill Blaster segments. Kinda weird that the bigger Babans are pink. I don't know why, but seeing Mario already expect the boxes to curse him actually makes me laugh. Mario can go under these waterfalls without being pushed out. This wave segment. Can these guys even balance properly on the barrels? Mario doesn't find it weird that Four Eyes knows Grodus. Discount Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob. Crystal Star disappears before you fight Cortez. How did this Toad not get blown up? Wow, that's pretty rude of all these Toads to cut in front of us. How does this Toad recognize his brother among dozens of exact duplicates? Character has to give up his most prized possession for the greater good cliche. Flavio was very protective of the Skull Gem, and now suddenly he's willing to give it up just like that. He even threatens to throw it into the ocean if Cortez doesn't agree. These X-Nauts were not on Lord Crumb's ship earlier. The embers are not burning Crumb's sail. If you lose, you have to witness that long Cortez deal cutscene again. And why isn't Cortez helping us fight Crumb? I'm pretty sure Lord Crumb is no match for him. Yeah, or in just 2 chapters. What reason could the X-Nauts possibly have for sending potions through the machine, but then sending them back to previous windows of the machine? Everyone in town survives this. Why the heck is Luigi dating an Eclair? Is this someone's secret house? Are we robbing someone? Chet Ripple's not a weird bird thing anymore. Loneliness actually causes sickness cliche. Who thought subduing us to this infuriatingly long part would be funny? This is probably one of the most interesting chapters in the game. Mouse Kangaroo. Game raises questions of how Bob-ombs give birth. Also, what determines their color if this orange one has yellow and white parents? Yeah, I never guessed you're a detective by the way you're dressed. Maybe Pennington's right to be mad at this geezer crack, because he doesn't look that old. You really think that will convince us not to look there? Okay, how did he fit that pot in the drawer? Why are Gold Bob and Sylvia arguing loudly over what to get their kid right next to their kid? Also, they must be asking for their kid to be made fun of at school if they give him a name like Bub. Wait, if the conductor's signing the autograph, who's working the train? It could mean that, or you probably just gave 2 blankets to one person by mistake. Was Ghost Tea dark bluish like this when he was alive? Or do toads change color upon death? Sure, trust a random stranger to not read your diary. Also, you can't leave this room? I call baloney. You leave the room to kill us if you read it. This guy believes us when we tell him there's a ghost. So he tells us he wants to read it. But that raises the question, will the ghost kill him too if we show it to this guy? As thanks for getting back your blanket, you're just giving us a plain old regular mushroom when we have better mushrooms by now. Yeah, if I were you, I'd double check the suitcase to make sure the nitro honey syrup is actually there, since, you know, the suitcase went missing at all. Duplex just blew his disguise right in front of them. Good thing no one was by those stairs, otherwise we could have crushed them. These guys laid out these gears where someone could cross them or fall off and break their backs trying to cross. Paper Mario the 1000-Year Galaxy. I think Mario accidentally walked into the opening of the Lion King. 14 seconds of uncovering the story. I'm half tempted to call this tube ability the Morph Ball. All these Smorgs seem to keep respawning, and then they just go away. Why would they make themselves have to activate another switch to reveal the drawbridge switch? Every passenger's been abducted except you and this toad. These Smorgs are actually pretty awesome. Who the heck has monstrous fish in their swimming pool? Then again, this is the same game where they have them in a fountain. Douglas isn't a Sound Triad member, so he can't disappear into the shadows. But can't he transform into one of them? Pennington? I know this rule is extremely important, but the world will end if we don't get the real Crystal Star. Isn't that more important than the rules you have to follow? The Crystal Star has already been taken. Oh wait, no it hasn't. Of course he means that moon, you twit. That's Computus. Screamy's parents must hate him to name him that. Ghost T couldn't leave the train. How did he write here? Grandma's recycled dialogue sounds out of character for Jolene. I hope this Bob-omb's not mocking us. This Bob-omb believes us when we tell him the world could end. This is a pretty troll move. The fact that they ask you to give up all your coins but then give them back to you. I actually ran to the shop and spent most of my coins before giving all my money when I first got to this point. I don't mind this quest as much as most people do, because of the warp pipes, but I won't deny that this is a stupid way to pad out the game. Especially when they pull more jerk moves on us. Some people might not even notice General White emerging from his house in this scene, and having to repeatedly jump on him. Most people would think that you're not supposed to do that. Why do you think this would be funny in any way? I would never forgive intelligent systems for this. And for that, I'm adding 8 cents. Sorry, General White, but I feel no sympathy for you because you are one of the biggest morons to ever roam the Mushroom Kingdom. Beer bottle cannon. Math for Bomb Jenna's suicide. Oh wait, they survived. We can breathe on the moon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the view from the moon isn't just a circle of stars spinning. If the moon rotated that quickly, that can't be healthy for the world. This game predicted the Dr. Shrooms. These stars do not arrange in this shape. Goombella sure has an obsession with saying the word X-Yux. I guess she probably realized, oh, maybe I'm saying that a lot. I better not use it again for the rest of this tattle. Is this floor made out of spikes? What kind of carpet is this? Discount Murmler floor panel puzzles from Battle for Bikini Bottom. Why are the X-Nauts even bother installing them if they're just going to leave the solution on the opening for any intruder to see? Why would you have a note that tells you to do your all-point inspection in the loudest way possible? This is just like the all-team Skull Grunts answer no rule. This platforming bit in the background is neat. Bowser keeps learning and forgetting Luigi's name. Mario's party member is facing towards Tech in this shot, but now facing away from Tech. I do feel kinda bad for Tech, but not as much as I should because he's been repeating the words, I am a perfect computer, like every 10 seconds, and he's also been creepy with his love for Peach. Even his concept of a robot built with no personality who develops its own personality has been done to death. I'm going to add 3 cents here for turning the screen all red, which is really hard on the eyes. Why did the X-Naut fortress explode? The biggest thing that happened was tech was destroyed. Was tech the heart of the fortress? And if so, was it really a smart move of Grudis to turn him off? Luigi's finale sounded awful. He fought a chestnut, then an anticlimactic final boss from out of nowhere. Or is this a satire? I can't tell. This side quest is so mean to Luigi. This song's repetitive. Why the heck are regular piranha plants the strongest piranha plant variation? I find Bonetail's fight strangely intense. Roll credits. Look at this awesome interior design. Game decides to borrow Zelda's troll spikes. What's the point of these rooms? They literally just copy-pasted the room 4 times, only with different enemies. I met someone from Rareware play this game and thought, oh, now I know what that line we were going to use in Banjo 2 we got lost to. Gloomtail brings up a good point. How is he not starved to death down here? Also, how come he and Hooktail can talk but Bonetail can't? Barf breath. Appearances are always deceiving cliche. Yeah, let's open that creepy chest that emerged from the darkness. This made me realize, why haven't we had a Shy Guy as a party member yet? It's Fendrana Drift's observatory, that's what. Our party member's first question is, what are you doing here? Instead of, why are you with the Shadow Sirens? If you brought Vivian to this fight, this battle is much more satisfying. People can't get my name right, cliche. The fact that such an awesome element had to be wasted with this stupid hag. Why is Beldum laughing upon defeat? How come Dukeless turns into near perfect copies of our party members, but a deadite spawn of Satan when he turns into us? Who puts a Ferris wheel in an evil demon's palace? The same person who designed a skinny path here. It would have still been a fine ending with or without you. Bowser now thinks he's an evil version of Shulk. Dang, this is one of the creepiest finales in any Mario game. Villain kills its minion who resurrected it, cliche. Is there any point to making us have to attack her in all 3 turns in this phase if we can't do anything to her now? Shouldn't having to survive 3 turns be enough? It's messed up that she consumes the audience, but it's possible for Luigi to be in the audience when this happens. I know that I removed Sins earlier for the soundtrack, but this song's so epic that I just can't resist taking off another 10 Sins. Especially with this epic cutscene, I just have to take off a bonus 5. However, if you lose, you have to sit through those long cutscenes again. The Crystal Stars have telephone powers now. If we're a shrimp, wouldn't that make you even bigger shrimps since we beat you? No one corrects Pennington and says Mario so we can get even more hilarity when Pennington is surprised to hear them cheer Mario's name. If it weren't for the fact that it's much easier to get shines in the slots gimmick, and the fact that the Shadow Queen can suffer from status effects, I'd probably say this is the hardest boss I've faced. And I kinda wish it was, since the cutscene building up to it seemed like a perfect hardest bosses cutscene. We only get 1 star point for saving the world. When will these games stop supporting these obvious fake deaths? And here's a terrible thing I kept removing Sins to make up for. It says abuse victims should stay in abusive relationships because they're family. That's one of the worst morals ever. I'm forced to give 50 cents for that. Beldum's change of heart had literally no build-up. Crumb survived being shot into space, Gordon survived becoming just ahead, and Tech survived being deleted? How? The treasure this entire game's been building up to is a dried shroom? That's it. I'm done.